Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Now we're going to do a review of Launch and Race Game by Funko Games, which is based on the Disney Pixar movie Cars. Now this is for 2 players or 2 teams. It takes about 15 minutes and it's for ages 3 and up. Hopefully you've had a chance to check out how to play and play through. So part of this review will go over the basics of how it plays, and then we'll give our rating and then our reasons, and then we'll compare it to other games that are appropriate for this age.
Okay.
So let's take a look at what you're going to be doing.
Alrighty.
So you have a track here. It's a race game, and it's a dexterity game with some math in that you'll be using a spinner to count spaces. You'll set up the track here. It shows in the book here how to set it up. And it comes off the board, and you can disassemble it and put it back in the box. And the object is to try to get it on the hill or over the hill, so that way you can come out this part of the track and just keep on looping around like this, because that would be the shortest. The first one to complete 4 laps wins. If you get it before the hill, the car before the hill or not quite on the middle of it, then you're going to have to go all the way around like this. If you manage to shoot your car off the track or through the Tail Light Caverns, then you'll go out this way. So this is the worst, the longest part of the track, the shortest, and the medium. And so what you do is you'll line up your car like this. This is the dexterity part, and the game does encourage to allow children to practice first. In fact, we had to practice.
We had to practice.
Adults need practice too. So here we go. So right there, I didn't do it hard enough, so I would be right here. And who's that car again?
Mater. Oh, that's Lightning McQueen, and that's Mater.
Right. Now, Julie will try this one here. Why don't you try again, sweetie? That wasn't too good. All right, so Julie did too hard, which is nice about this. Is if you go too hard, you actually, this is not as bad as here. So it's actually, but let's say I did go over the hill, right here, over the hill, and didn't go off the track, then I would be here. So then Julie would be here, I would be here for the first lap. I would spin. Let me go on the, I move 2, then Julie goes. All right, now this says draw a turbo card.
And 1.
And 1, which means I go to the green space.
Which is where I am.
And you can land on the same space as another car. So I go to the green space +1. So now I'm ahead. I zoomed ahead by using that turbo card. Now it's Julie's turn. And so she can use a turbo card or respin. Now this one, she has to go to the color. Nope, you're right here. Because, see, that's orange.
Oh, thank you.
So,
you were covering it up. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. The children could miss that too.
Gosh.
But that would have been good if the other way around. And then I do draw 1 or spin. I go to purple. You go 4. So this is a pretty close first lap. And
it's right on the line.
I think it's a 3. 1, 2, 3. So whether I land on it exactly or overshoot it, if I land here, I'll get to do 1 launch. And the reason why all these colors are here is because if you get a turbo card, that's where you stop. But since I overshot it, or if I were to get a turbo card +1, I would get on a launch 2. That means I can launch once. And if I don't like the result, I can try it again, but then I must accept the second result. So I got here. I completed 1 lap. Now Julie will go. And then now I get to launch, and if I don't like the first one, see, I knocked it over. I really don't want to go there. I did it too hard. Let me see if I can do it just right. And I did. I stayed on the track, so I'm right here. And then Julie still has to move ahead. You spin again. 1. But then if you took a turbo card, you'd be able to get a launch 2. So there is a little bit of strategy here. It's better for Julie to take a turbo card and go 1. That way she can get 2 launches. And then we would keep on going until the first one to complete 4 laps wins. So that's how you play.
Yep.
You can see the full playthrough if you like. Now let's go over our rating first based on the BGG scale.
What did we say?
Well,
oh, we both said 6.
No, I did not. I said 5.5.
Oh.
Which is between will play if in the mood and take it or leave it, which I'll explain why in the review. Now, this is when played with children. We're not going to play this as adults.
No.
Now, Julie said a 6, which is we'll play if in the mood.
Yeah.
So we are going to keep this for grandchildren. And our boys would have liked this, but I don't know how long they would have liked this game, which is going to be part of my reasons here. So here are my reasons. So it's an engaging dexterity race game. Definitely children are going to love shooting the cars, right? That's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They're going to like that part of it. It's quality board and pieces, but the cards are average. They're not the best quality, but they're not the worst. They're average. If adult allows children to play this on their own, I can see these
Maybe
cards.
you have to sleeve them then.
If you really care about taking care of it that well. But these cards will not hold up to children who are not careful.
No.
That's for sure. It does play quickly. Even though it says 15 minutes, I think we played it in under 8 or 10 minutes this morning.
I think so.
But then again, we're adults.
Yeah.
Now, there is some math connections. Now, this is part of the reason why I would only put this as a 5.5.
Okay.
Because this is a step above Candyland, which is just teaching colors and how to take turns. Candyland is for ages 3 and up as well. Now, at least this is teaching some basic counting. But they could have done much more. Now, there is a variant to add strategy where if you do get a turbo card on the spinner here, you can keep it and play it when you want, which will teach kids, oh, I passed the blue, now I'm going to use it so I can go to the next blue. That's about all it will teach in terms of that. In my opinion, they should have done a dice game, because you have Yahtzee Jr., which teaches kids you can roll dice up to 3 times and try to get the most of a 5 of a kind. They could have did the same thing here, where you roll the dice and the tires allow you to go this far, or oil, and they could have had spots on the track. They could have did a lot more with this. To me, this is kind of, how would you say?
I don't know.
Low effort on their part. They could have did so much more with this and tied it in to the fact that when a car is racing, you have a pit crew. Okay?
That's a good point.
So that's disappointing. And it could have been more math connections. You would have taught probability and the idea, do I want to go for these symbols on the dice to move farther? And it makes kids want to use a little bit more strategy. So that's a neutral because there's not enough there. I would play this when our children are tired of Candyland and they're ready for this game. Or they're just ready for this game, but there's not enough here to play it really. When we compare it to the games behind us, you'll see that there's better games than this that younger children can play.
No.
Okay, so it needs some adult supervision and assembly for younger players. So I'll show this
True.
now. I'll show this now on camera. So when you put this together, you got to snap this in. Okay. A 3-year-old is not going to be able to do that. And it does take some finesse to make sure that these pop in so that it's flush with the board. You've got to use a certain amount of pressure. So a child, see right there, that's how it's lifting up. You got to get it in there. Okay.
Yeah.
So it does take, and you want to supervise this being done, because if a child who's not careful can mess up the board, then it will be too loose.
Sure.
And this is fine. It's supposed to pop out. So just realize that a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old is probably going to need help. Maybe a 5-year-old who's careful with games could do it on their own. Team play for me is a negative. Let me explain why. There's not enough going on here to take turns. Just Julie and I are on the same team, and our 2 sons are on one team. If children do not know how to take turns, they're going to have a hard time waiting while someone else goes on the same team. That could be a problem. I don't know why they didn't make this 4 cars and had made it a 4-player game. Is it because they wanted to keep the price point so low at $20 that if they would have included 2 more cars, that it would have pushed it up to $25? Maybe.
I don't know.
But I just don't think there's this. With groups that know how to take turns, this is fine.
Yeah. But don't you think that this could teach kids how to take turns?
Yes, it can. That's one of the advantages of playing games. I just don't know if this is the game to do it with. Okay? Because I could see some kid going, I want to do the push. And then they could be fighting.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, Julie will do this the first lap, I'll do it the second lap, and you could see a kid say, I want to do it, I want to do it. Oh, you did it terrible. And they'd be upset because someone did badly.
Yeah.
If they're controlling their own car, they're responsible for their own thing. They can't blame the other kid. So I would just be worried if this could cause tension and fights.
That's a good point.
So there's very little strategy. I already mentioned that, even with the variant. And there's a runaway leader problem. The first time we played this, if you get really lucky, you can get really far ahead on laps.
And he did.
Now, you could introduce a variant that when somebody's one lap ahead, the other car can use turbo cards until they're on the same lap. You could try that. Because I could see, again, we're dealing with children here, getting frustrated. And this is a luck game other than the dexterity part. And again, adults will probably be better at this than children.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that children can't do well at it, but I'd be curious to see if a child can compete as well as an adult on doing this part.
Well, they might. Who knows?
All right, so let's see what your reasons are for why you gave it a 6.
Okay. I like that it's a light race game. I think the pieces are quality. I love that it plays fast. As David mentioned, you do need an adult to put the little ramp or bridge or whatever it is together. I don't remember what else I said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think I agree with David that younger kids might get frustrated if they're always losing. And since there's very little strategy, it might be boring for some, even some older kids. You know, if they're playing with their siblings, they'd be like, you know, I want to do something else. You know, I've played this enough with my little brother or sister. I'm done.
Right. It's like you're an older child playing Candyland with a younger child. Candyland, it's all luck.
Yeah.
There's no strategy whatsoever. In this game, there's a little bit of strategy in your decision whether or not you use the turbo card or you spin again.
That's it.
That's it. And the dexterity part, this is where you can get into a situation where someone who's better at the dexterity is going to dominate the game.
Right.
So let's talk about now, how does this compare to other games in the Funko line?
All right.
So let's compare it first to It's a Small World. This one is, so all these other ones up here are 4 and up.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a 3 and up game. This one right here, launch and race, okay?
Right.
This is 4 and up. Now if you see, you can look for this review on our channel. It's a very elaborate memory game. But I said in the review, I'd rather play memory. It's cute to look at the murals and try to match cards, and you can play it cooperative. So that's one advantage. You can play this cooperative.
Right.
There are 2 different types of games. Kids will love the race part of this. I think kids will want to play this over this.
Yeah.
And I'd rather play memory over this. So what do you think? Would you want to play It's a Small World or launch and race game?
If it was our little grandchildren,
Yeah.
probably launch and race.
Right. And I'd rather play memory over this.
Yeah.
Now let's take a look at Mickey's Christmas Carol. This is, you're trying to put puzzles together in a certain sequence. There's strategy here in which one you do. Before, is it Scrooge McDuck or is it McDuck Scrooge?
I think it's Scrooge McDuck.
I think
Let's see. Ebenezer Scrooge.
Well,
I don't know.
the point is, what would you rather play, this one or this one?
Probably this one.
Probably this one, because adults, it's kind of fun to put the puzzles together. There's a little bit more going on here. But again, I think kids will like the dexterity part.
Yeah, they'll love the cards.
Part.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, what little munchkin doesn't love Hot Wheels? And this is like a little Hot Wheels.
Okay, Mickey and the Beanstalk game. This is ages 4 and up. There's definitely more strategy going on here, because how you move around on the table here to avoid the giant and collect certain pieces to feed the people down below. What would you rather play, this one or launch and race?
I think kids might actually like this.
I think they'll like this one better than the race game. The race game will be fun for a while.
I think this is more involving for them.
Right. And there's
more players, I think, too.
Oh, right.
Isn't it?
And each person gets their own character. I agree. I would play this as an adult just for fun.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
No, I agree with you.
All right. Now, the one I saved for last, this is ages 6 and up, because there's more math involved here. This game we play as adults.
This game.
So this one is definitely the game that would fire this game when kids are tired of playing this and they'd rather play this.
Didn't we give this to our best friend and her family?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're waiting to get extra copies of this to give as gifts.
Okay.
But this is a a children's game that we like to play as adults. And the reason why is because it's really cool cooperative mechanic where you can check out all these games we have reviews and how to play. You have to match cards to move Ichabod Crane, and while you're trying to escape the Headless Horseman. So there's difficulty modes. It is really cool math elements in trying to do that. This is really not. Again,
It's the best one.
it's the best one. I think younger kids could play this.
We need to get this for our children, our own boys.
Right. Out of these 3 games right here, we will give as gifts. Okay.
Oh, definitely.
All right.
To our adult children for their own children.
For their own children.
And then some friends of ours
Okay.
who have younger ones.
This has been on sale. Don't care to buy it. We've been able to get it cheap. This drops down to below $10. We would get it as a gift.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
our friends in Tucson with their little boys
Yeah.
would like this.
Right. It's fun for a while. For a certain age range.
Yes.
Okay. It's great. But then eventually
They're gonna
you're
outgrow
not gonna want to play it anymore.
That's true.
And the game that you will want to play, even as adults, is this one. This one we highly recommend.
Definitely.
So just keep in mind, if your kids love race games, this is cool for a while.
If they like Hot Wheels.
It will hold interest for a while, but it's not going to be something that they're going to probably want to return to at age 10. Okay.
Oh, no. This one, the Return of the Headless Horseman,
Right.
they would.
But even then, I like these other 2 as
I
well.
do like Mickey and the Beanstalk.
Right.
I think it's fun.
These are really.
We've played this even as an adult when we want
Right.
just like one game
And
before bed. We've
this
done
one's
this
fun
one.
too, but it's just it's not as much fun as Return of the Headless Horseman.
I agree.
So there you go. There's some other ideas for you. You can check out those videos as well.
Thank you so much for watching, you guys. We hope you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye bye.
Bye.